Hey everybody, Motorpoet here. I didn't post anything last week, or I should say I didn't post anything between Phoenix and Anaheim 3 because I was on the road that week. I actually attended the Supercross in Phoenix, and I was on the road after that. I went up to Colorado and visited my daughter, and then drove around and shot videos for my other channel, which is why I didn't post anything on this channel. I was doing video logs every day, editing and posting them at night when I was finished at the end of the day, or early the next morning, publishing them on YouTube on that channel. Again, it was a really fun race. I'd never been to Phoenix before. State Farm Stadium was really cool. I don't like the way that you had to get into, and I always sit in the upper decks. I didn't sit in the very top deck at Phoenix, and I sat in what's called the Ring of Honor, which is still about the third level, I think. But to get up there, to get to that level in that stadium, I'm sure there's one posted on all four. It's kind of a round place, but I'm sure that there are escalators at each main entrance, and I believe there are 4 main entrances. And there's just one set of escalators that go up the 2 flights to get to the top. And boy, was it a mess getting up. As it is with most stadiums, and with all the ones I've ever been to, they don't seat the upper decks until later on. You can go steal seats and watch qualifying if you want down in the lower sections. People aren't usually there. They'll come boot you out if they are. Then when the race was over, I ended up just sitting in my seat for quite some time, just waiting for everyone to break up. It was a Triple Crown, which I enjoy. I don't know, I enjoy both types, but hearing from some of the racers, a lot of the racers don't like that format in Supercross, and oh well, that's what you get paid the big bucks for, is to like it or not race. But anyway, my fantasy teams for Phoenix in the 250s was Christian Craig, Michael Mosiman, Hunter Lawrence, and Nate Thrasher. The big incident with Vince Friese and Christian Craig in the second moto took Craig out of contention for the first overall. And a lot of people pissed and moaned about that, but I don't know. Vince Friese races hard, and that's just the way it is. You know, did he take it in too hard? I don't know, maybe. Could Craig have backed off and not pushed the issue? He knew he was faster than Friese. Why didn't he just wait until he got to the whoops and just blast by him without thinking about it? Who knows? It's hard racing. I don't have a problem with it. Friese was placed on probation for it, but I'm okay with hard racing. I'm okay with bar banging. As long as it's not just a blatant takeout and it was obvious from watching the replays. That's not what Friese did. He was going for it. Wouldn't you? Those guys aren't getting paid to finish second. And Craig was going for it. Would you? I don't know. If I knew I was that much faster than everybody else, I think I might have waited. But Friese has to take the chances that he has to take advantage of the opportunities as they present themselves. And I think that's all he did. But anyway, in the fantasy, your points are awarded on the overall finish. And so I had Lawrence, so I got the overall with him. I got second with Craig, and Thrasher, that poor guy. And Mosiman was up there and would have scored me some points, and he had that nasty crash. I saw it kind of happen as it happened because I was watching that battle, and I did see him go down, but I didn't see exactly what happened. They never did a replay on the big screen at the stadium, but I recorded it while I was gone. So when I got home, I watched it thinking I was going to see it, but they didn't show it either. They just showed he was already down. But he clipped the top of the tabletop coming out of the sand section and went over the bars. It really showcased Robbie Wageman, who didn't have a great race, but it showcased some of his speed, and also Garrett Marchbanks. And I had neither of them, but it really woke me up for the future. My 450 team was Jason Anderson, Dylan Ferrandis, Marvin Muskin, and Malcolm Stewart. And I scored well with Muskin and Stewart. With Stewart, I got first place points, and also with Muskin, Their handicaps gave me first place points. Ferrandis, it was as usual, got terrible starts, was going really fast, and then in the last race he pulled off, and I don't know what happened. Anderson was gonna kill it for me. He was crushing it, and then he had that little wreck coming out of the one corner, going back into the back, and oh well. So, but one thing I will say about Arizona is the people there were awesome. Not that I've been to Anaheim. I I think I said before in the 20s of times, 20 something times, and I've been to a bunch of other supercrosses and other places, and I've always enjoyed myself. But you never know who you're going to end up sitting next to. My wife couldn't make it. I had bought us tickets originally, so I had an empty seat next to me. But two guys kind of got lost during the first race and ended up, they were supposed to be sitting up above, but they got down there and they were standing there trying to figure it out. And there was an empty seat next to that. And we just said, hey, just sit down, man. Just sit down and stay out of the way. And they ended up being nice guys, goofy like me, acting like little kids. Oh, look at that. Oh, my gosh, look at that. Oh, no. Just like me. So it was all right. Couple sitting next to me, native Arizona and a gal from Colorado. That couple, they were really, really nice. And we had a good time, good seatmates for the stadium. And when I first pulled into the parking lot, I don't like the parking arrangements. I don't like the way the parking is set up at Phoenix. It won't keep me from going back, but I didn't like it. It was a real pain in the neck. But when I pulled up next to two guys, and I'd had a heck of a day. And they said, hey, man, have a beer with us. And so I sat there and drank a couple of beers with those guys and had a really good time, native Phoenix guys. Had a really good time with them. And then when the race was over, I sat there with them. I didn't drink anymore because I had to drive to the hotel. But we sat there and shot the breeze for probably almost another hour waiting for traffic to clear up so we could leave. A lot of fun. Anaheim 3, I came this close to going on ahead and going down there, but I was really tired from my trip and I wanted to rest. And I spent a pretty good chunk of money on that trip, even though probably about half of it came out of my business account. It's not money I have to pay back. So anyway, Anaheim 3, I had in the 250s, I had Vince Friese, Joe Shimoda, Robbie Wageman, and Carson Brown. And Shimoda had that terrible wreck in his heat race and didn't start the final. So I didn't score anything on him, but I got first place points with all the other riders in that 250 race. Friese finished second with a handicap of 5. Wageman finished 7th with a handicap of 8. And Brown finished 5th with a handicap of 7. So I scored first place points with all those guys. In the 450s, I had Tomac, Sexton, Barcia, and Roczen. Tomac finished second with a 0 handicap, so I got second points for him. Sexton finished 5th with a 2 handicap, so I got third place. Barcia finished 3rd with a 5 handicap, so I got first place points for him. And Roczen, he's just not getting it done this year. He finished 10th with a 6 handicap. The fact that he's a 6 handicap shows what kind of season he's been having and what the handicappers think of the direction he's going. So I get 4th place points for him. I think Roczen has lost his edge. I said that in one of my other videos. I don't think Roczen has anything left to prove. Not going to get that Supercross title, but he has had a very successful career. He has won a lot of races. And in 2017, I think was his year when he got hurt at Anaheim 2. He was just flying. And I think that was his year. We'll see how he does in the outdoors. The outdoors is a lot tougher. So we'll see if he's ready to put the work in for that. But it just doesn't look like he's willing to take the risks anymore or bang bars like he used to with everybody else for position. I was glad to see Vince Friese finally get his podium. He's worked for it for a long time. He was always been, not always, but he's been a 450 rider for a long time. Now he's riding 250s. Probably glad that that happened. He's finally got his podium, and he's earned it. He deserves it. Friese's been in the middle of a lot of controversial things that have happened over the years, and some of them he has taken it too far, but most of the time he's just racing hard and trying, and things don't work out. Lines come together, whatever. And he tends to get into those positions with really popular riders, and that doesn't help his case any. Poor Shimoda said I saw in a little interview with him. He said he's going to be on the line at the next race. So we'll see how that works out. Man, it was a really scary wreck, and I'm just glad he's up and walking around, seemingly in good spirits. He seems to be a good spirited guy. Wageman, best finish of his career. Carson Brown, best finish of his career. Carson Brown really impressed. He really looked good through the whole race. And so did Wageman. They both looked really, really good. They raced really well, and I'm happy for them to get those finishes, and I'm glad they got me those first place points. Not that it has helped me much. I did gain about 1,200 positions, but I'm still in the high 13,000s. Tomac didn't have anything for Anderson. Anderson's on fire, man. He is the only guy that is going to challenge Tomac for this title, all things being equal. If everybody stays healthy and whatnot. Sexton has his flashes of brilliance, but then he has his flashes of total averageness. And not saying anything bad, because being average in this year's 450 class is really good. Barcia, glad to see Barcia get his third. He raced hard, and people say, oh, these people crash. Hey, you know what? Part of winning is being able to stay on two wheels. If you can't stay on two wheels, then you don't deserve the win. And the people who stay on two wheels deserve their finishing positions. And as I said, Roczen, I'm a huge Roczen fan. He is one of the coolest characters to come along in American motocross, or in European motocross for that. And when he was a kid, he was still very entertaining, very charismatic. Coming up, what is it, Minneapolis? I don't know who I'm going to take, as usual. I got rid of my Peacock Plus because I'm not going to watch qualifying anyway, generally, as I said, and I'm not going to pay them if I'm going to have to watch ads. So I cut that off. And also, something else that happened during the week is that Peacock will not be carrying the Outdoor Motocross Series, which a lot of people paid the year in advance for. I didn't. I went on the month-to-month thing. And so I will dump Peacock at the end of the Supercross season and pay for the MAV TV Plus, I think it's called, that are going to carry all of the motos in the Nationals. I hadn't heard anything about whether they're going to cover qualifying, but you won't have to switch back and forth anymore from the first motos on MAV to the second motos on NBC. NBC will no longer be affiliated with the Outdoor Series, and I'm kind of curious to see how that's going to work out next year in the Supercross Series. I don't know what kind of contract NBC has with Feld, but next week should prove to be good. Starting out with the East Coast 250s. I'm anxious to see that. I don't have much else to say. Did you have a good week in fantasy? Did you enjoy the races at Phoenix and Glendale? Did your riders do as well as you expected? Do you feel the same way about Ken Roczen I do? Let me know in the comments below. Shoot me an email at motorpoet59@gmail.com. Like, share, subscribe. Click on the bell if you want to be notified of future content. I'll see you all later.